I watched my mom choke my autistic brother. We told our dad, and that's when the court took him away from us. Okay, so it started with the divorce. That was the beginning of everything getting really, really messed up. My parents were always kind of off. Like, even before the divorce, they just didn't like each other. You could tell. My mom talked to my dad like he was stupid, and he'd just shut down or walk away like he couldn't even deal with her voice. And as a kid, you pick up on that stuff way more than they think. Once the divorce started, it got nasty fast. They argued about everything. Who gets what weekend, who brings us to school, who picks us up, who gets to keep the dumb salad spinner. I'm not kidding. They fought over everything, and somehow me and my little brother ended up stuck right in the middle of it. And my brother? He's autistic, which is a whole other thing. He's amazing, but also really intense sometimes. Like, he'll get upset out of nowhere, or he'll repeat stuff over and over until your brain wants to explode, and he doesn't like being touched when he's overwhelmed. You have to be patient with him. And my mom, she's not that. She acts like she's trying, but she gets annoyed fast. Like, she'll sigh all dramatic if he asks the same question 3 times, or she'll snap at him when he doesn't do what she says immediately. I always felt like I was watching something that shouldn't be happening, but it was never quite enough to call it abuse. Just mean. Too mean. Until that one day, he had a meltdown. A big one. I don't even remember what started it. Something small, probably a noise or a routine change. I heard something crash in the other room, and then I heard my mom yell. I came around the corner and just froze. She had him on the floor. She had her hands around his neck. My brother was red in the face, struggling, panicking, and she just looked furious. Not overwhelmed, not scared, just angry. Like he was a problem she could fix by squeezing hard enough. I didn't say anything. I didn't move. I just stood there like my soul left my body. Then she saw me and immediately let go, walked away like nothing happened. Just said, "You deal with him," and slammed her door. I sat with him on the floor for a long time. He was shaking. I didn't even know what to do. I just sat there and rubbed his back and told him it was okay, even though it wasn't. When we finally got to see my dad next, one of the few visits my mom actually let happen, we told him everything. No holding back. He didn't freak out. He just listened, really calmly. Then he stood up, said thank you for telling me, and started making phone calls. Next thing we knew, he filed a police report. Took us to DCFS. We told the story again, and again, and again, and they believed us. My mom got found guilty. Real deal abuse. Not just rumors. Not just she's stressed. Guilty. And I thought, okay, finally, we're safe. But nope. They still made us go back to her. And honestly, that broke something in me I still don't know how to fix. So after all that, after we finally told someone, after my mom was literally found guilty of choking my little brother, you'd think the court would say, okay, yeah, maybe we shouldn't send these kids back to the one who tried to strangle one of them. But nah. Guess what they did? They took us away from my dad. Yep. Not her. Him, the one person who actually protected us. The only adult who believed us and did the right thing. He got punished. You want to know how? Because my mom, after being found guilty, walked into that courtroom and lied her ass off. Just straight up lied. Said he was doing drugs. Said she knew he left them out on the counter around us. That he was unfit. That we weren't safe there. Now, mind you, she doesn't live with him. She's not at his house. She has no way of knowing anything about what goes on there. But the judge ate it up. Didn't ask to see evidence. Didn't ask us, the actual kids who live there, if that was even true. Just heard drugs and locked everything down. Boom. No more overnights. Boom. No more weekend visits. Now we can only see our dad with someone watching the whole time. A supervised visit, like he's the problem. Meanwhile, we're still stuck living with her. The same mom who threw my brother to the ground and choked him in front of me. The same mom who got caught and still somehow walked out of court smiling because she knew the system would always give her the benefit of the doubt. She even got a restraining order. On him. Like he's dangerous. I couldn't believe it. I still can't. I keep thinking, maybe if we'd recorded what happened, maybe if I had pulled out my phone instead of standing there frozen, maybe then they'd believe us over her. But I was just a kid watching his brother get choked by his own mom. I wasn't thinking about court cases. I was thinking, holy shit, is she going to kill him? Now we barely get to see the one parent who actually gives a damn, and she gets to pretend like nothing happened. She walks around like she's the victim in all this. And the worst part? She tells people my dad's a junkie. She tells them he's unstable. But they don't see the way she talks to us when no one's around. They don't see the cracks, the rage, the way she hates my brother for being different. They just see a mom who fought for her kids. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting here wondering, what kind of world finds you guilty of abuse and still lets you tuck your kids in at night? Hope's a funny thing. Once you let a little in, it spreads. I used to think escaping meant waiting. Like someone would knock on the door one day and say, "You've been through enough, you're free now." But no one's coming. It took me way too long to figure that out. If I want out of this, I have to build my way out. Quietly. Smart. No explosions, no running away in the middle of the night. That's movie stuff. I don't need drama. I need proof. I need plans. So I started doing my homework. All of it. Perfectly. I started showing up early, staying late, helping the teachers clean up after class, not because I care about extra credit, but because when you make adults trust you, they're more likely to listen when you finally say something real. I don't lie about what's going on anymore. I just don't say anything, yet. But the second I know the moment is right, I'll have a whole journal full of dates and quotes and details. I'll have my school counselor, my teacher, hell, maybe even the front desk lady, on my side. I've been watching her more too. My mom. It's like living with a wild animal. You learn her patterns, what sets her off, what times of day she's more likely to snap, which lies she tells to keep the world convinced she's a strong single mom instead of someone who lost control and never got it back. I stay out of her way. I keep my tone neutral. I keep my brother safe. And every night, I add one more note to the journal. It's not revenge. I'm not trying to ruin her. I just want my life back. I want to sleep in a room that doesn't feel like it's holding its breath. I want to wake up and not have to scan the hallway before I step into it. I want to see my dad again, talk to him without someone watching, hug him without wondering if a court date will be the consequence. I want my brother to smile like he used to, fully, without looking over his shoulder afterward like he's waiting for it to be taken away. And yeah, part of me is angry, actually most of me is angry, at the system, at the judge, at my mom, at the way people believe lies louder than they believe truth, whispered by scared kids. But I'm turning that anger into something useful now, into fuel. Because the day is coming, I can feel it. The day someone finally asks again, what's really going on at home? And when they do, I'll be ready. It didn't happen fast, it never does. The system moves like it's underwater, slow, clumsy, always looking the other way. But I kept showing up. I kept writing. I kept telling anyone who would listen that something was wrong. And finally, someone listened. It was my counselor, actually. The one who always asked how I was doing even when I said fine a little too fast. One day, I handed her a folder full of notes, dates, quotes, a timeline of all the things people wanted to pretend weren't real. She didn't ask me, "Are you sure?" She said, "Thank you." And that started everything. More reports, more questions, more people in suits taking notes they should have taken months ago. It was like everyone suddenly woke up and realized, oh, maybe we shouldn't leave 2 kids in a house with someone who's already been found guilty of abuse. You think? Eventually, the court got involved again. This time, my dad came prepared. He didn't just tell them the truth, he proved it, with copies of the report, with our statements, with witnesses who had seen enough to speak up. And this time, the judge didn't look at my mom like she was the victim. She looked tired, cornered, like her lies had finally run out of air. I still remember the exact words. "You'll be returning to your father's custody effective immediately." My brother squeezed my hand so hard it left little red marks. We didn't even pack that day. We left with what we had on us, backpacks, phones, our bodies, our relief. The ride back to Dad's felt like breathing after being underwater too long. He didn't cry. Neither did we. But the silence in that car was everything. Safe, full, like real silence. Not the kind that follows a slammed door, but the kind that wraps around you like a blanket and says, "You're okay now." The first night back, we ordered pizza and fell asleep watching cartoons. My brother actually laughed. Not the polite kind either. The real kind, from his stomach. I didn't realize how long it had been since I'd heard it. And me? I slept through the night. No panic, no checking the hallway, no writing anything down. Just sleep. Since then, life's not perfect, but it's ours. My dad's still fighting to get the court to drop the supervised visit order for good. But we're together now, and that's what matters. And my mom, she doesn't get to tell our story anymore. She lost that right the day she wrapped her hands around my brother's neck and expected no one to remember. But I remembered. And I kept the truth alive long enough for it to finally matter. So yeah, this is the ending. We got out, we're healing, and we're free. Tell us in the comments, what would you do in her situation and what you don't? We read every comment. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a new episode. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you in the next video.